Hello, and welcome to Rolling Escapades Season 2, Episode 30, Part 1, the web series in which we play D&D and put it online for your entertainment. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll come away feeling extremely entertained. Our sponsor is Dessel, find maker of chainmail and macrame. Awesome. There's a link in the description to go search, browse, buy, enjoy. You can also find links to our artist, the campaign, Christopher Rolls. You can find his DMs, Guild products, and his Facebook page where you can get commissions done. We don't have a Swin today. He has a sore throat and doesn't want to do Parr's voice.
He's been shouting at the news all day.
So less on that. Never. Just no. Don't need to. Last week, you guys fought a troll. The Errant Guard fought the two trolls. It started off well. Banishment proved to be a useful spell, causing one of the trolls to disappear, allowing you to fight the trolls individually. However, due to some bad choices in spell usage, action usage, reaction usage, the first troll was dispatched relatively easily. The second troll resulted in the death of Erebus.
You fool!
Yes.
You can't fly, you fool. That's a funny laugh sound.
Fortunately, you had a spell scroll of Revivify and Enhance ability, so Eldaran was able to successfully bring Erebus back. On
but I master plan.
on one hit point at that point in time, and the undead flies that were around that kept reacting to the light were dispatched and ceased to be a problem. You dragged the bodies of the trolls back inside the cave. There were no attempts made. You eventually decided you weren't going to burn them, but you picked up some of the armour that had been left behind by the patrol. Heavily damaged, but easily marked out as from the town. You then returned to Bleakwick, where you spoke to the Sheriff Mako, explained what had happened, leaving out the deaths and the real beating that some of the trolls gave out. And just said you found the patrol and dealt with the creatures. So she, as promised, gave you a map of the island with some points of interest marked out on it, and she gave you a coin with her mark on it, which was a ox head. Derek then mentioned that you knew about the fact that the children had been disappearing. She was a little put off by that, but explained about the disappearance and said if you were wanting to look into that, it's up to you. The town would be grateful. You were then asked whether Derek then asked if there was any other information she wished to share with you, and she had you step outside to explain about the missing village leader Kechro, who the town currently believed to be ill in bed under the care of Yelris. You were given the information about how she disappeared and where, then told to speak to the herbalist of the town, where you acquired 2 lesser healing potions and a superior healing potion, which were distributed amongst the town. At that point, we're just going to add in... Huh?
I mean the party.
Yes, distributed on the party, not about the town. Yeah, you're right.
Everyone definitely wouldn't go very far around the town. You're taking a longbow, and the short bow is going to Icarus. Yeah. A longbow was acquired for further use within the town, as the 2 spellcasters have realised that they need more efficient ways of fighting.
Are we dealing with ammo for this?
No.
Oh, good.
Very quick answer there.
Yeah.
Except for if I was using daggers, that would be different.
Yes, that's different because they are usable in different ways.
Cool, great.
From there, you headed out of the town towards the outside walled area. Found the section in which Kechro and her honor guard disappeared, and making use of enhance ability and sort of scouting around, trying to find tracks. Aegis spotted a cave
further up one of the hills that you were behind, which was difficult to spot because the mud you're walking on is black. The rocks it was made out of is black, and it's a cave, so the interior is black. He only managed to spot it because he rolled so high on his perception.
I think I rolled max or 2 off max.
Something like that, yeah. So Derek turned invisible, went up to scout, found the tracks of 7 humanoids entering the cave but not leaving the cave, which is the number of Kechro and her honor guard. Stepped in, went a little bit in, at which point the temperature dropped drastically and he started seeing his breath form in front of him as he was breathing, and got the intense feeling that the thing he most desired is close by. Which caused Derek to freak out, panic, and immediately backtrack. And he returned to the party like, nope. There's something wrong with that cave, let's not. So you pressed on quicker to the walled area because you wanted to arrive and make use of Shamshir's enhanced ability to continue searching for tracks and the like around the walled area before it ran out. And we left off as you guys were sort of approaching it, come into sight, and you were making your way towards it.
I believe Derek was doing this with the coin.
Yes, yeah, the coin was being held up way in the air, like... Which
shoot her.
Yes, thinking about it, Derek waving it may not be the best option, but...
Shoulder height, maybe?
It's everyone else's.
That tall.
It's everyone else's waist height.
Yeah. If I jump, I can get your nips.
So you make your way over. It's just the wall is built in a similar way to the wall around the village of Bleakwick, in that it's solid all the way up, but there are these little arrow slits that allow things to see through, but the things behind them essentially have total cover apart from when they're peering through the slit, and it's not until you're quite close that you're actually able to sort of see anything through them. Whereas you remember when you scouted the town, it was really difficult to spot anything. They are very efficient at moving around where the blind zones are. When you're about sort of about 15 or so feet out, sort of that far, is when a guard, you hear a voice hail you.
Is there a moat of some sort, or is it literally just into the ground on like the actual village?
It's dug into the ground. It's on the ground, yeah.
Okay.
But you do notice that it is circular. It's a series of boards that are held together. You can't quite make out. It's very seamless on the side you're on.
As it should be.
Yeah, that's the side you don't want the gaps in. Yeah, you get held by a guard. Who goes there?
Hi, we're the. Hail and well met. We are the Errant Guard. We have been sent here by Kechro. By Mazzo to help find the missing children. As you can see, I've got Mazzo's coin. So if you could let us in, and we can set about helping you.
Yeah.
Who am I speaking to?
Checks over my shoulder. No one did. Here we go.
You are speaking to
NPC guard 58.
Please.
The name is Dessel.
Dessel.
Bear with 1 second. Can you, small one, come closer to the gate and just hold the coin up?
Oh, certainly.
Cool.
It's like a slot machine. I can just.
They just want a closer look. So he looks down, and then he himself. Oh, right. And he leans back. Yeah, open the gates. They can come in. The gates are swung.
How lucky we
Open.
managed to get to the doors.
which the gates swing outwards. So Derek, you have to sort of step back a bit as they swing towards you.
Yeah.
You can see.
You haven't asked for a dex save, so it can't be that. It's
No,
not like
no,
a
it's
crit.
not. It's not.
Just-
Bam!
Yeah.
I'm not going to be killed by the door.
You
I
never
don't know.
know.
It's Liam's campaign,
Not
man.
this door.
The friendly door.
If you've got 1 hit point, a door can do 1 hit point.
That's not what
If it's
you
a big
want.
enough door, it could stop at the 60 point and hit you twice.
So, behind when the gates open, you can see human male, much younger than Mazo, but still has the same sort of just hardened.
Yeah, it lives in this shithole.
Yeah.
I mean, this wonderful island of
Yeah.
Terror.
With him are 2 other guards, also human, 1 male, 1 female, and he's there. They have their spears out, shields drawn, but you can. They're not pointing them at you. They're just sort of standing there looking at you. You coming in?
Of course, yes.
Again.
If you could point us towards where the children were taken, and if anyone who was on guard that day who can tell us exactly what happened and give us some more details about the events surrounding the disappearances, that would be most helpful.
Mm-hmm. He nods and he turns to the female guard and goes, Fesyth, go and grab the ones that are on duty at the time. I think who we've got here, we've got Cynthia and Morn.
Excellent.
She nods and starts heading off towards the gate. Up onto the wall and starts making her way around the wall. Nods the guy and says, shut the gate again, go back up and watch. Right. I was one of the guards on duty on that, on one of the days. I'm not sure. What information are you looking for? As where they disappeared, I can start with that. Somewhere inside this.
If you could tell us what you know, and then based on that information whatever information you give us, we'll then ask questions that we think are pertinent.
Right.
Any and all.
Because at the moment we have nothing to go on at all.
Yes.
Apart from there are children missing.
So, the first group, from what I know, I wasn't there for the first go. I was on duty for the second set. They arrived as per normal during the day. They were moved to the middle of the area to be as far away from the walls as possible, generate as little noise to the exterior as possible. During the day, everything was fine, and then no one noticed anything come in, no one noticed anything go out until towards the end of the day when they returned to the town. When they left, it was at that point that the guards on duty and the various guardians that had come with them noticed that some of the children had gone. But it was only when they left the settlement. As far as they are aware, as far as any of them have said, up until the point they left, they were there.
So the other children didn't notice them go missing. Because they raised no alarm. There was no hue or cry. They were not behaving upset or anything. They haven't seen anything or noticed anything.
No, not as far
Are
as
the children confined to a single area, or can they freely wander around the?
they can wander to an extent. They have to say. I mean, when you're looking inside, it's apart from at the no, it's all flat. The inside of this area is entirely flat. So there's not really anywhere you can go, and you won't be in eyesight of either someone on the wall or someone inside the wall.
Whilst we're here, I'm right in saying that we're already taking less care as to how loud we're being, as compared to in the other village. Because whilst we were there, it was a case of we don't speak outside, we don't make noise outside. Whilst here, it was shouting down from the wall, "Oh, come on in, we'll have this conversation at the gate," and all that.
Actually, I think they were actually inside their wall and they actually spoke straight out the small porthole.
But that was once, and they tried to do it for a small amount of time.
They were asking us to shout identification at them.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough.
They're making a little bit of noise here, but you were told the main this area is used as a place for noisier events.
To lure the horse to.
The guards here are to make sure essentially here the walls don't collapse, just to keep everything going. What they don't want is the town being flooded.
Right, so I'm just making sure I'm right in saying
Yes,
the noise is expected here.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
Wait, did you say they went missing during the night?
During the day.
During the day?
Mm-hmm.
Like midday almost?
They don't know.
Yeah.
It was some
Yeah,
point.
there is no time here.
The kids arrived, got put into the middle of the enclosure. The kids played, and when it was time to gather up all the kids and take them back, some of the kids were missing. That's when they did the roll call to take them back. That's when they went, oh, there's some kids who aren't here, and that's when people started freaking out. So they don't know the time incident was something between them being put in and them being taken out. So that's a bit of a.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a
so
problem.
did the same thing happen with the second group as the first?
Yes. So specifically for the second group, we doubled the number of guardians. Normally for the children we bring out, it's sort of 4 or 5, but there were 10 guardians.
How many children were there?
Hang on. One sec.
I don't think it was that many.
3 and 5.
Yeah, it was 3 and 5 that went missing, but how many kids were there total?
Okay. Yeah. So give him an idea of how to remember.
If
Mm-hmm.
there were only 8 kids, then there's it's
They were really
stitched.
well.
Yeah.
Really bad, the children's 'cause they lost all.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
25 30.
Huh?
25 to 30.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about 30 or so, 25 to 30ish.
An average class.
So I had one adult to every 3 children.
Sort of. Plus, on the second occurrence, we specifically brought out to put around the walls and inside the area an additional retinue of guards specifically to watch the children. They weren't watching outside.
So you had people specifically looking inside.
Mhm.
I assume, how frequent are attacks on this part of the settlement?
We probably get attacked by something here once or twice a week. It's not normally that much of a big thing. Occasionally we get the odd zombie skeleton wandering in. When we hold an event, we'll end up with something coming by, which is an interesting thing that we've not had today. We had a funeral earlier and nothing's come by.
Were there any guards present for both of the watches?
Yes, the ones that I've
Cynthia and Morn.
Yes.
Take it.
Cynthia and Morn, they were present at both. For the first watch, they were just guarding the walls. For the second, they were specifically there for the children. As is why I was brought on for that thing. I was there to watch the children that day.
Looking around, can you see? So if I stood where I am now and I looked from left to right, can I see the entirety of the wall?
More or less, yeah.
So
It gets probably because it's quite big, but towards the far end, the wall is small, but you can see it's there.
So there's not like a blind spot where there's some sort of inward corner.
No.
Have there been any attacks since the children went missing?
Yeah, no, I think. Yes, no, there have been. There was a group of skeletons the day after the first group. I think skeletons, maybe the zombies actually.
But not any
not
unusual attack. It's just
No.
the same as always.
Yes.
Does any of your guards have any kind of memory loss at all from these disappearances? Do they have a feeling that they've lost time in some essence?
How do you measure time here? I'm actually asking that. I'm actually.
Yeah.
How do you actually measure the length of time's passed?
We don't really. We sort of just
Get tired and go to sleep.
yeah. But no, there doesn't seem. There's none outside of the normal humans standing on guard duty, occasionally switching off because it's tedious. But there are enough guards to cover the likelihood of everyone simultaneously switching off is low. But there's no one who says no one's missing memories. No one's. Oh, as far as they're aware.
So what did you see when you were watching the children and the children went missing?
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
They were all there. Everything was fine. And then, as they went to leave, the next group they were gone.
Okay.
So you take them from just over there to that gate.
Mm-hmm.
You took them from there to there, and they disappeared in that period, or was it where did it take the census? Where was it they were identified to be missing?
It must have been confirmed that they arrived at the camp.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if it's they're leaving the central area, or whether it is that they. I'm trying to determine whether or not they disappeared there, or between there and the gate.
I'm
I
not
think he's
sure.
saying he doesn't know.
Yes, I'm just.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
While that's going on, I am going to ask both Derek and. Damn, the name is gone.
Icarus?
Icarus, yes.
Yeah,
Whether or
what
not
was
they
I gonna
have detect magic.
Yes.
Because it seems very odd and it's likely to be magical in nature.
And since the children have been missing, have you been using the same area?
No.
Okay.
Following the second group, the children are now locked inside the village.
Well, I suspect then we should make our way there post haste and see what is left, if anything, for us to.
I want to stay here. I want to stay here and talk to Cynthia and Morn. But I think yes.
Well,
the sooner that Shade and
Are they likely? How far are we from?
There'll be someone on the wall. I imagine it will take at most another 5 or so minutes.
But the sooner that Shade and Shamshir start looking for tracks, investigating the area.
Maybe if you would take the advance.
We can do that. I would also, agree with our two sorcerers. Maybe they can look for any residue magic around while we do the track searching. You look for magic.
So maybe if three of you were to
He's
go ahead.
You don't have it.
Neither
Okay,
do I.
then I'll sacrifice 2 sorcery points
Mhm.
into two level 1 spell slots, and then cast one of those level 1 spell slots.
Mm-hmm.
To use detect magic. I'm casting a spell. 2.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on!
That was
Blow up!
That was almost a 20.
so close. And they got hit by that end.
Would you just blow up already?
Oh, look, when you talk to these three guards, boom! Oh dear.
Someone
Who's
use
gonna
mage
kill
hand
one?
here.
We'll
What?
begin investigating.
Jesus.
Delayed by 5, we leave the glows up.
Cool.
in
You
5
cast a spell. Your spell cast. That's fine.
Great.
minutes. Everything is magic.
Looking around.
Everything is
First. Dessel responds by dropping back onto one leg, raising his shield and pointing his spear at you. Like, what did you just do?
Don't worry about him.
He's casting a spell to help with the investigation. It's not anything aggressive. I'm very sorry.
Right.
Not the response I expected. I am checking to see if there's anything magical I can see in the area.
We sort of move constantly. We don't really stop. You've just got to keep with us.
We find that acting quickly is the best way to get
Yes.
things done.
Warning. Next time, warning. Definitely provide warning.
Yeah, I assure you.
I do apologise, but if we can, but
yes,
we-
no,
we
that's
are trying
fine.
to go as fast as
Wander as you wish to do.
It's fine. I won't explode on you.
And
God.
where some
no
of
promises you can't keep.
where some of you wanted to go outside and look for tracks, you were saying.
No, we want to investigate the area where the children were taken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so just inside.
I think we'll stick inside.
For now.
For now,
Okay.
certainly.
Cool.
Certainly
Well,
to begin with, yes.
somewhere in here. I'm not sure where.
Well,
Um,
follow your noses.
And so the inside of this enclosure is sort of like a football field, as it were, with the walls being the stands around the edge.
Yeah.
Just one large open plane in the middle.
yeah.
Okay.
Parr, stay with me.
I'm going to see.
Aegis, Eldaran, if you two could go and provide cover just in case they find something bad in their investigations.
I will wander around aimlessly.
Yes, but you will have support should you find something bad.
I
We will have
think
support
we're
close
all
by.
within
We have
eye
to,
shot
we have
and
to stay a
earshot.
certain distance away so that he can actually sense other magic other than us, because all our items are giving off
Yes,
magic.
but early today I was 60 feet away and somehow Shade still conspired to kill himself, so let's work as a team and stay close by each other.
We can all see and hear each other.
For the moment, let's go.
I've already started walking off.
Come
to
with
explore
me.
the
Go,
area.
move.
Yes,
Go,
I'm gonna
go. And I'm pulling you
So
and moving you.
you're scattering into groups. What are the groups? You two are going together.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think we'd quite like to inspect
Shall I
the
just
middle of
have
the
Parr
field to
with
the
me
door.
for the sake of
Yeah.
argument?
No, I've
They
kept
would-
Parr
yeah.
with me because I'm doing talking and if it's easier for
I
him,
will
it's not
wander
yours.
around with the other
Yeah.
sorcerer, but rather than doing the magic than him, I'm going to look to see if there's anything that can see clearly into the centre, so from like hills around the edge.
Okay. Are you following those two?
I'm assuming that everyone is going in the same direction.
Ah,
Oh, goody. Yes, I will look
yeah.
after the magic users.
Cool.
Thank you.
You
That's
two
fine.
are Hardy. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm capable, thank you.
Yeah.
These two are the liabilities at the moment.
I'm also going to be
yeah,
looking
no,
out
but-
for any areas of that seem to be that might be a bit more criminal in the area.
Okay. Right. We'll start with.
What?
I get the feeling this
I
place is
am a
mostly.
I was a member of the
funeral
city watch.
home
It lets me know if
fresh.
there's anywhere that it actually specifically says where it gives me feel for local laws and criminals, so I can see if there's anyone who's a bit shady who might know a bit more.
Okay.
The kids have set up a local
Don't worry.
gang and they're currently...
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Don't
There's a
worry.
Yeah.
heroin
That's
circle
fine.
going on in precinct.
Right.
One of them's
Spice,
buried
spice.
6 feet under.
First off, we'll start with you two because you are looking around to see if you can find tracks and
Do you
information
still
and
have
whatnot.
your own did you
Enhanceability
have
is
that
still
on
up.
yourself.
Yeah, so Owl's wisdom is still going on.
Yeah.
Alright, so you still get advantage anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you might
I might as well
roll.
then
Yeah.
do an individual check rather than having you.
Which you've got about 10 minutes left.
Okay, I'd quite like to, check from the middle of the field to the door
Yep.
that would be used as the exit, and I'd kind of like to look for a combination of tracks that, are going and then disappear,
Yeah.
or perhaps if there's anything wrong with the ground itself,
Mm-hmm.
or if maybe there's a point that Shade disappears on me, like, gone.
Yeah. Well, oh crap.
Course of
Sure.
events.
Make a survival check. You can also
Yeah,
make
alright,
a
fine.
survival check if you're looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Survival check.
Nice.
What, in case Shade goes, oh,
Yeah.
He finds the
Maybe we'll have to slow fall this time.
Unless he uses his reaction to scream.
it's not old yet, it's fine.
No
maybe
shades
it's,
on.
maybe it's too soon though.
Maybe that's why he's just feeling a bit old. He forgot how to
Right.
do shit.
Survival checks. What'd you get?
Holy
One
shit.
second.
I know it's a damn tip. Okay.
25 is the top.
25. Cool.
What?
12.
12. Alright. So
He is good.
Erebus,
What was those two?
Oh,
you're looking around. It's very hard to tell what's going on here. Yeah, literally earlier today, like a couple of hundred people walked through here and have done a very good job of crushing everything that may have been a clue. Isn't that fortunate?
Yeah.
So you're not really finding any sort of information, anything useful. 25. You're getting mostly the same thing. A lot of people came through, and it's a large muddy area. It's a lot of information has been destroyed and removed and whatnot. But as you get, that's quite intensified, sort of close to the gate. As you sort of head out, they have moved away from the gate and have sort of headed over to one side of the area. So as you get closer to the centre, there's less and less marks. But you are able to find, definitely entering, a group of, wouldn't have been 30 at that point, it would have been 27 or so, small human feet, plus 10 adults, not who would have been armed and armoured, but sort of relatively close, and then in a area around them, another sort of 15 or so armed adult humans. That goes in. Looking around and paying attention to how the footprints move and whatnot, you can see a point at which they start collecting everyone back together. You can see where they've pulled everyone together, and it is at that point you notice that there are 5 less sets of child footprints, and then as they are leaving, there are 5 less, sort of making their way back towards the gate.
Okay, so I can kind of infer that they disappeared somewhere between them being delivered to the crash and then gathering everyone back up, basically.
Yeah.
Well, these people don't have much sense, really, coming in, destroying all of the possible evidence we could find and storing their children in the decoy fort they'll use to protect the actual town.
Yeah.
It does look like the children disappear somewhere in the centre before they get
I
collected
couldn't
up.
find anything. There's a lot of footprints.
Can you use like your tiger senses to sniff them out or something? What if you like partially transform your nose?
I'll dismiss that. Doesn't quite work like that. In a fight, maybe, yeah.
Are there
Do some
lunar
damage.
faces here?
Maybe let's not talk about that here, though. We don't want to scare them even more.
Maybe if you transformed into the tiger from before, you'd have landed on both of your feet when you jumped off the top of the cave.
Okay, there's clearly an issue here. Let's discuss this another time. This is not the place. We will discuss it, and it was a big mistake, I promise you that.
What I like is Andrew's question. You make a valid question. Are there lunar cycles here?
You haven't seen a moon.
Well,
Just
this is
just storm clouds.
going to be Erebus's favourite place.
No. Back onto the kids. So
Is that
between
like
where have they gone?
Oh god, oh god.
I think we should inspect the middle of the core somewhere before they gather up the gate, because it does appear, yes, they disappear somewhere in the centre of the field.
So there's the loss of tracks.
Yes.
Well, see, I can do something that gets rid of my tracks. So we could be looking for someone that knows the same spell.
Can I see if this and the same number of human footprints, of human adult rather, gather as well at both sides? It's, they all come in armed, they all leave.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, perhaps someone did remove the tracks. It's possible, but it seems very specific to only removing the 5 children.
Yeah.
Can you, when you remove your tracks with Pass Without Trace, can you choose to leave yourself out of it?
I don't want that.
I mean, otherwise,
I think it just gets rid of all tracks. I don't think you can choose.
It magically removes
Yeah.
your
I
tracks.
think it's you and X.
Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, so you can opt to exclude people.
There we go. Okay, yeah. Sure. But then, so you can opt to not show yours as well. The person that's
That
cast.
wouldn't make
I
it.
think
Okay.
anyone that's included in any effect of the spell gets all effects of the spell. So if you say, I want this person to be stealthed as well,
Yeah.
they lose the tracks
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
they
So,
lose
yeah.
every other part.
Yeah.
There's no sum, it's all or nothing.
Whilst it's possible someone did use Pass Without Trace or remove tracks in a similar fashion, we're talking about more than just missing tracks here, it's missing people.
So, well, the perfect example would be when I scouted out town name Bleakwick. Derek cast invisibility with me. I had Pass Without Trace up. You had no idea where I was.
So the
So
children
you
in this
could be
case,
looking at multiple spells here.
but unless the children are very willing to be invisible without trace and then led off in a different direction,
Well,
there's too
they're
many
only
variables
kids, aren't
here.
they? They're probably quite easily lured into some.
They live in quite a
Strange.
hostile environment. Like, they must have some kind of sense about them. More so than you city
Yeah.
kids.
That is true.
Let's relay our findings to the magical crew, the wizards over there, and then perhaps search the center of the field a little bit more.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So you cast detect magic,
Mm-hmm.
and the three of you are just sort of doing this
Yeah.
around the area to
So
see
it-
what you spot.
Obviously, initially from the gate, I just look around.
Yeah.
Is anything sparkling, glowing, whatever it does?
So
We're beach
We
combing,
did
aren't
stay.
we?
We'd stay a distance
Oh, God,
away
we
from him,
did.
so we didn't set off the centaur from our stuff.
yes, so nothing is. There is no bleep when your allies are outside of 30 feet of you. Obviously, they are glittering themselves, or various items they are carrying are glittering, but there is no blip within 30 feet of you at the gate.
Okay, then from that point, so I can only see magical things within that 30 feet. It's not just the blip. It's
No, I think.
or is it sight just within range of vision?
That's what you can see within 30 feet, I think.
Yes. So yeah, it's only you have to detect the magic first within 30 feet of you, and then you can see auras around it. So you're only going to be able to see if things are magical if it's within 30 feet of you.
Okay. How long would it take to walk around the edge of the area?
30 feet from the edge.
Hopefully less than 10 minutes.
Or 20 feet from the edge.
Hopefully.
Probably
I
about
doubt
10 or
it.
20 feet away from the
I
edge.
very, very much doubt it.
It's a football field. You can probably walk that in about 3 or 4 minutes.
I wouldn't even have to see it. I just have to jog around, and if anything goes beep, I just think, whoa, something's happened here.
Yeah. No, you probably get around. Yeah.
We're going on PT.
In about,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, in probably about 5 minutes, I'd say you could get around. So you're going to go off jogging around,
And I'm not interrupted.
no.
by-
No, there would be no blip, assuming you guys follow but stay 30 feet away. Yeah.
To be honest, you could just stand in the middle and just watch me go around. It's like, you're still going.
No,
Well, I
because
actually
it jumps
I
on
wasn't
you.
just following. I was looking to see if there was any visible places from hills that could see straight down into this area, just in case they
I mean,
see what see
Yes.
what's going on.
you'll be able to tell that without even having to like properly look,
Okay.
because it is settled in
A valley.
a valley.
Okay.
Yeah, there are hills around.
There was
I thought
little.
it was a bit more plainsy than that almost.
Nope.
Less important then.
I mean, we do have Napka's Cursed right above us.
Yeah, Nagpa's curse is right there.
And we were ascending hills pretty much the entire way to the village anyway.
You will go through the foothills of the mountain range. Yeah.
So yes, nothing sets me off returning back to the gate.
Nope.
At which point I hasten kind of towards the centre where these guys were looking at footprints.
Cool.
Because that timing's about right.
Yeah, no, that is about right with researching and stuff.
Boy, have you got a sprint? Bastard.
So
Oh, nice. I've enjoyed this.
as you two
In my-
go
my robe, as
looking
opposed to-
for the sorcerers and Eldaran, they come looking for you. So there's a convenient little meet up there. That's fine.
Have you found tracks of the children? There are footprints everywhere.
I did manage to discern that the children's tracks reduce in number. 5 disappear. It's quite obscure, the looks of the people that have been travelling through, but
At which point do they vanish?
somewhere between being kept in confinement for the middle of the field and leaving towards the door is when there are 5 fewer tracks, so presumably in the centre.
So from where we are now, which I assume is somewhere between the centre and the door, I start walking towards the centre.
Let's all disappear.
And upon reaching the centre, is there any joy?
There's no blips.
I ask Ivan if any of the other footprints.
You ask who?
Sorry. I asked Shamshir
Is that your god?
if
I
any of
resent
the
that.
footprints that are the adults or children seem to have got on heavier or deeper from beginning to end, as if they were carrying something.
No.
Good question, though.
Stuff is
Given
bad
each
for
other-
kids. Just walked out.
Oh, Krampus!
Don't mind me.
All the kids
Okay.
were giving each other piggybacks. They were there the whole time.
But that's an interesting point I'd quite like to raise. Well, perhaps it's possible it's one of those puzzles where the kids are still within the box, as it were.
There are three main ways that you get into the camp. There's the gate, there's going over the wall, and there's possibly going under the wall, if the wall is undamaged.
Shamshir, are you suggesting quantum superpositions as a result, as a conclusion to this?
What's the
No,
quantum?
I'm saying it's
Right,
like
what?
the murder in the locked room, right, where the culprit's already within the room. Like in this case, the children were already being watched.
So
It's
not
doubtful anything.
Schrodinger's cat. Okay, good.
Liam, is there any? Sorry, yeah. Is there
So
any?
you
Other,
reckon someone from within inside could be called?
No, he's saying they're
Maybe
still
they're
here.
still here under the ground, buried invisible ghosts. I don't know.
Ghosts still here. Ghosts maybe
What's he looking up?
something.
Do you think it's possible
my
maybe
question
one of the
is-
children had a teleport, like some kind of stone or something? Maybe they're being used to teleport the other kids out, capturing them that way.
Is there any sign of, since the general flooring in here is just mud, is there anything that seems a bit off, that's a bit too stable for the mud, or seems to have sunk a bit more than the rest of it?
Not as far as you can tell.
I'm not going to be asking them actually, because they're much better at telling that thing.
I think. No.
So can we have a good old search? So they're kept in like a confined centre part, right? They're allowed to like walk around, run about, and move for the 6 hours or however long their schooling
Yeah.
year is. Can we have us just look around there? Maybe I'll get myself Shade,
Yeah.
poke around it again, and see if any of us just disappear or. if
Cool,
we find
yeah.
something in particular.
Something. What if we know is there a difference between a human child's foot and an adult halfling's foot?
Yes.
There are.
Slightly different shapes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not you. I'm just saying, like, it's quite possible that an adult halfling could disguise himself as a child.
I can't believe he beat us here and stole all the kids.
With, I mean, technically, yes, it would be possible for it to
Yeah.
be confused. Shamshir is very good at tracking
This
them.
is why I
Yes.
I just wanted to make
Yes.
sure. Yeah. It
Didn't
wouldn't be
roll,
just like
rolled high enough to be able to go. That's a child's human
yeah,
foot.
yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to start. You're going to start looking around to see if you see any disappearing children footprints or anything whilst they're playing around, etc., etc. Yes.
I'm looking for more like floors in the ground, or I suppose maybe a floor could be that tracks suddenly do disappear.
Yeah. Cool.
Is there anything in the sky? Just looking aimlessly.
Clouds. Darkness.
Hills, mountains.
I'm more interested in something.
Existential
Is
dread.
there still
The
an
idea of something
occasional-
flying, swooping down in there, it's gone before
None
anyone-
of the armed
Cthulhu.
guards see, or any of the other children. Well, Harry's just flown off. Like
Maybe it's invisible. It's an invisible pterodactyl.
At this point, it's
But
rather
Harry's still in the
limited
air.
the amount of ways that this could have happened.
Oi, come back! You got my conga. It's mine now. Fuck you.
Alright. Looking around, because this next look is a bit more intense. What's it called? Enhanced ability will have worn off by the time it's done, so you can make a survival check. You make a survival check with advantage if Shade Erebus is helping you.
I'll help you
Cool.
because you're better at it.
Roll that, and then we'll come back to your thing in a sec. So, Derek, Fesyth returns with Cynthia and Morn, also human because everyone in the village is human.
Yeah, no, I can see where this is headed. Yeah.
Yeah. They've all got the similar sort of hide armor, shield, and spear. They seem both Cynthia and Morn seem a little tense, a little bit put out. That's what they seem. And Fesyth's like, right, they're talking to you, I assume,
Yes.
as the others appear to be doing laps.
I've deployed them to use their special skills. Yes.
Right.
Special
Cynthia,
skill.
Morn, they were here for both children disappearances. I'll leave you with them. I'm going back up on the wall.
Thank you very much for all your help, Dessel.
She heads up.
Dessel's a she as well.
No, Dessel is the captain, Fesyth.
Oh, Fesyth goes. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just me, Cynthia, and Morn, and a silent Parr.
And Silent Parr, yeah.
Parr on mute. Cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me in your own words about anything that you saw, anything untoward, or any just go through the events of the day as you experienced them for me? Days,
yeah. So Cynthia starts. So we had our normal guard duty. One of our normal shifts. As the children arrived, the morning, as close as you can get, and were sort of playing and learning what as they will do in the centre of the area, and then they were collected towards the end to go back to the village, and I think it was then, it may have been a little later, we realised at some point that some of them weren't there, but they had arrived. They were there to begin with.
So as you gathered them in the centre of town to get them to leave, you believe that all the children were there, and as you led them to the gate, is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure.
Insight check.
Sure.
So close.
16.
16. That's good enough. She genuinely is unsure.
Because that first day they weren't on high alert, they weren't looking for it, they weren't paying too close attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's not entirely sure whether they were collected and then disappeared or.
As she's saying all this, is Morn looking? Is he still anxious? Is he still?
He seems to be
twitchy.
It's not twitchy. They were both anxious and nervous, but as the conversation's gone on, he's sort of like he seems to be calmed down. He seems to be a bit more like, oh right, I'm not being punished for something, or like they just had one of their superiors turn up and be like, you come to gate now. They were like, what? What happened?
So they're just being asked questions by a friendly smiling halfling. So they're relaxing. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Friendly.
Well,
as far as they know.
Yeah, as far as they know, I mean them no harm.
Until he finds out they're orcs.
Yeah, only as far as they know.
first.
I should check them all day. Yes, Morn, is that what you remember? Is there anything you remember as well? Do you remember gathering them all in the middle? Is there any light you can shed on that as to when they disappeared?
No. That's as much as I remember.
Okay.
Like, it's the same. Yes.
And insight check for him.
Yep.
Better 24.
Yeah. Same sort of thing. You do get the sense. It's not just that they're unsure because they weren't paying fully attention. They are genuinely completely unsure as to whether the children were
present when they gathered them.
Yeah.
Or when they don't know when they disappeared,
There's almost an element of like they're sort of like if the children had been missing at the time they were collected up, there would have been immediate panic. But it wasn't really until they got to the gate.
It was because they saw them and then they moved them, and as they moved them, they got, and so because they just thought, oh, they're just somewhere lost in.
Mhm.
They literally just lost somewhere in the village because they just wandered off, and so they weren't looking for them, and then panic grew. Oh, right, okay.
So yeah.
Okay, and the second day, Morn, if you could go first this time,
Yes.
because
So
you've got a funny accent and I like it.
that's yes.
I'm not sure that was in character. But...
No, I don't think that was. Yes, so we were specifically brought to watch the children during the day, just to keep an eye out for anything strange, but we didn't see anything. There was nothing untoward, but it was again we when they got brought back into the middle, it was I think they were all there, but I'm not sure.
Why aren't you sure?
I don't.
You can't remember.
Yes, it's not quite.
Yeah, insight check on
Yeah,
that.
make an insight check.
13.
No, he's he. It wasn't until you started asking him what was going on that he wasn't really thinking about his memory. But now he's looking at it and he's going, actually, no, I don't. There's an area there that's not entirely clear. For the first day, it made sense to him that it wasn't because he wasn't paying attention. But on the second day, he was there to pay attention, and now he's going, no, it's not. I can't tell.
Cynthia, can you think about the gathering of the children for me? And
Yeah, as Morn's been talking, you've seen Cynthia starts to sort of just like scowl and focus, and she's like, no, it's hazy.
okay, but and so that was in the middle of the village when you gathered them. But are both of you certain that by the time you reached the gate, you then looked and checked? At that point, you knew that there were no.
Yes, no, they definitely were gone by the time we got to the gate.
Just one last question. When the children are playing, what sort of games are they playing? Is it sort of hide and seek? Are they sort of like hoops and sticks? Is it toys and?
It depends on the age.
They have cards.
Yeah, some of them want to play some card games. Some of them like to play tag. We try to do that. They try to encourage to do games that keep them active and moving, and that will sort of help strengthen them or with accuracy. So we do have things like hoops onto a stick and stuff like that. Yes.
Maybe build them some monkey bars or something. But anyway, yes. Well, yeah. So it's just simple, normal games that children play. Okay. Thank you very much. At some point, I might want to talk to the children if we don't find anything else, because that may be an avenue to go down. Could I come and grab you for that, or would it be better for me to go and talk to Dessel?
Children are in the village. They didn't come.
Are they locked in the village?
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
allowed to
I
back.
heard that.
Locked in the village, not the right. This is
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
enclosure, not the right.
Yeah.
It just means that they
Yeah.
weren't, it wasn't safe to come here with the kids anymore after the second disappearance.
So the kids
So
are
they leave them
stronghold.
in the village now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whoops. Anyway, okay.
I think Derek had some memory issues there as well.
I don't blame him. It's a bit weird. It doesn't
No,
make
You
I
might be
don't
mistaken for a
think
child.
I don't think Derek had any memory issues. I think that was all Rob.
None of us blame you. Him.
Cynthia and Morn, thank you very much for your help. You can go back to your duties now. If I need. Hang on. Parr, any questions? No. Okay. Cool. So if you guys could, if there's any further questions we need
runs
to
his hand
clarify
along
something,
you
I'll
can
come and
kind
grab
of
you
find
because
them,
obviously
yes.
I know you right now. Thank you very
Yes.
much for your help.
No problem. And they head back up onto the wall and disappear off to where they are.
Parr, follow me, and I go.
Yeah.
And I go and find the visual
The
suspects.
group that are doing their own thing.
I think at this point we're mostly sat around the middle, kind of looking at mud.
Yeah. So what was
Metal detector out going, beep, beep,
your
beep,
survival check as you're looking around?
Why do I get the feeling that if we were the usual
23.
suspects, you would have the limp?
A little bit.
23.
So much.
So, sort of looking around and trying to see if you can spot anything. It's less. There's less crowd of information here, as it were. There's less footprints. There's less things going on. But you are able to tell. It's not. There are sort of 3 parts where you can see that children were sort of running around playing. 3 sets of footprints that at some point become 2, and sort of just, but the remaining 2 sort of carry on playing. There's a place you can see where there's like a hole in the ground and a sort of a small hole like that sort of thing, a small line that's been drawn. You can see
A
footprints.
stick or a pole's just been dumped in the
Yes. You sort of get the sense that there were a group of kids, maybe 4 or 5, that were playing a game, doing something. But at some point, that becomes a group of 3. Just sort of look around. You get the sense of just sort of, you get the idea that up until where they all regrouped, 4 kids had gone, and then when they were regrouping, sort of for roll call, that was when the 5th one disappeared.
Okay. So the children seem to be disappearing and no one seems to be noticing. They seem to be actively doing activities and 3 become 2. No one bats an eye.
I don't know what would cause that, apart from magic.
Those that says
There
no other
is
footprints by the children's in the locations they vanish.
Hmm?
No other footprints or
Oh.
marks masking him.
Nope.
Are we all back together?
Yeah, you guys
Cool.
at this point, yeah,
Good to know.
after sort of talk to each other and whatnot, and then Derek rocks up with Parr as you finish your investigations and find this information.
There is nothing to suggest magic is the cause of their disappearances. Through the entire area, nothing has left a magical remain.
Well,
But they,
the
some of
lack
them,
of track
yeah.
suggests it's probably magic. Let's.
like,
Then
It may not leave residue. I mean, do all
That's what I
spells
say,
leave a
yeah.
residue?
apart
generally
from
Some do, not all spells do. It depends on the effect of the spell and sort of what it is. It also depends on how intense the spell is.
and I'd assume how recent these things would degrade over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many days ago?
6 days for the first group, 2 days for the second group.
It's quite a hopeful thing for the first group to leave remains. The second group might, but it's still 2 days.
Yeah.
We have to at least contemplate the possibility that any traces magical have degraded in that time.
Like, for example, I know this dagger's magical, and it probably shows up when you detect it. And that's because it's enchanted with magic all the time, right? I mean, what about spells that you use and you use? Do they, like, if you cast a spell and you were
Not firebolt.
doing dispel magic, or no, detect magic, would you see the essence of it as such?
Yes, you would say.
The spell
But then would it
Okay.
disappear afterwards?
But
instantly?
yes, more specifically though, the children.
For the time that the spell exists, you would see it. If it's something that affects an area, it would leave like a footprint,
I found
But
evidence of
there's none
spell
here.
casting.
but there is none.
Sorry,
left.
what was that, Derek?
I found evidence of spell casting.
Please
Oh,
share with the group.
The guards. I spoke to the 2 guards who were here for both instances. At both instances, when they were gathering the children up and preparing them for getting them in a group ready for transportation back to the village. They both times they have a sort of feeling of confusion, and they did not see any children missing until they reached the gate. Both times. Even the second time when they were paying extra special attention, which I believe their memory has been clouded. They've been magically affected by something, which may have been cast on the area at the time. Clearly, you can't find residue of it, so it's not a permanent effect. It's only when whatever it is gathering up the children.
And no one reported it to the main guard.
What I think
Because he said that no one.
I don't think they have any spellcasters here. I don't think they were aware of them. I just think they thought they were confused. They weren't aware they were having spells cast on them.
From what we heard
That's
from
the loss of memory. Kind of. Cloudy.
From the tracks disappearing, it kind of does show some similarity that perhaps their memories are being muddled.
Yeah.
As there are times where tracks will disappear and groups of 3 become 2, but the 2 don't act any differently.
Yeah,
I
but
think
how
what-
theirs
what
is probably also
would be
clouded
interesting,
to forget about it.
maybe clarifying, is to speak to some of the children and see if they can corroborate these guard stories, or because if they can corroborate it, then we know it was a large area spell. But if they can't and they have no impeached memory, then we know it's targeted guards, and it may help to limit our suspect pool.
You can infer from the fact that both the children and the guards didn't react when, say, the group of 3 there becomes 2, or the children playing hoops lose their 5th member, that the children there didn't behave any differently, and neither did any of the guards in the whole building.
As a father, occasionally children will lose track of other children because they are far too involved in what they're playing at the time, and they may not notice, and when they don't notice a thing, we tend not to.
Then as a father, I suppose you would sympathise that if you were sending your child to be watched by, sending your child somewhere where 8 have just gone missing, you might be a little bit more edge and keen the second time round.
There wouldn't have been a second time round, but yes, just.
Are you quite done yet, you two? For as far as we know, this was an unconscious act by the guards, caused by an effect of magic. We should go back and question the children to see if they remember anything, and then start discussing other stuff.
I'd argue with you, except for I agree.
What we know is that within the village, the only person who is said to be a spellcaster is the priest. This rules out any of the other guards from doing such a thing.
I just want to. So you can see the children moving around with the other children.
Yes.
And then their tracks simply disappear. And there is no disturbances in the ground that you can see. There are no other tracks of a second creature coming in, stealing them. There is nothing.
Nothing to suggest that.
And the guard didn't see anything untoward. So these things are.
I think if
these things are invisible. They don't leave tracks, and they can cloud people's memories.
I don't think they need to be invisible if
But no one saw them, and they were here to take the children away.
no one
But no one-
remembers them. No one
Yeah,
said they
yeah.
didn't see them. They didn't remember them.
They may be invisible from history, if not from reality.
It was my understanding, questioning the guards, that the only moment they had, about which they felt confusion, was when they were gathering the children up. I may be mistaken on that. I don't know what spell was being used. I don't know what magical effect was taking place.
None
But
of us do.
that is, to me, is the key point.
What spells do I know that might cause memory loss?
Make an Arcana check.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, you two can definitely
I do
make.
suggest it.
The moment.
Arguably, you could all make an Arcana check, but you're probably not going to find it.
It's not good.
Well, I might as well give it a go
At the
because
moment,
we had a hint
we're
that it could be magic.
assuming that the perpetrators of this somewhat brazenly walked in
Mhm.
and out
it won't be enough.
with the children, but at the moment we have no outside evidence and no tracks to corroborate that. So, how otherwise would they have removed themselves and their wards from here without raising an alarm?
There are many beasts that
And
could
it is
cause
wo-
a
it is-
mesmerising effect.
It is worth just ruling out the possibility that they did in fact leave through the front gate.
Sorry, before we got here, you mentioned something of a cave. Did you tell us about what happened?
The cave that we found on the way here.
I said it was bad. Bad cave.
Okay.
7 armed adults went in. No one came out.
Yep.
No children anywhere near it.
They were carrying kids and just chucked them in there.
What were your Arcana checks?
We can't
What I was drinking.
18,
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for that.
13.
13,
6.
12.
Can't roll the 2.
Oh, come on, guys.
16.
What are magic?
We don't even do much. Wait a
You
minute.
can both cast spells.
Yes, we can, but we don't cast them
oh,
innately.
although,
Well, that's,
hang on.
Yeah, we don't do it.
I only know 2nd level.
So
I just paid
I'm not a
attention
very
in,
good
in,
wizard.
in spells class, even though I didn't use them.
I
Hang
can
on.
barely stop
I do have
myself.
to check something.
blowing up.
Imploding.
You got an A in spells class. Yeah, but I want to be a fighter and a monk. What?
You get to roll, Derek, you get to roll with advantage.
I might know something.
You two don't.
I would force advantage
No,
myself.
okay,
but I'll
cool.
regret that.
23.
23. Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, now I've got to think about why I know
Pretty
this
sure
spell.
You 4. Magic exists, magic can do anything. You can't think of any particular example that could do it.
Not worked with every ultimate spell.
Joking wrong anyway. Pretty sure my memory is not.
Derek. You probably come across at some point in you like to read books, research things, find information. You will have encountered the spell Modify Memory at some point in time.
And is that so? But what period of time can be modified by the spell Modify Memory? Do I know that?
Yes, you know the details of the spell Modify Memory.
Is it
So
10 minutes?
Modify Memory can remove the memory of an event that a creature experienced within 24 hours that lasted no more than 10 minutes. If you use more powerful magic, you can extend the period that you can alter, but you can only ever alter 10 minutes.
Right.
And the other side of it, when a memory is modified, a creature would describe what is happening to it, and the mind automatically fills in any gaps that are not placed by the description of the creature casting the spell.
Okay. So, to my mind, that indicates that someone cast Modify Memory on them, but didn't just said forget about that thing,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't give them anything, so that their brain is just, oh, I can't remember, I was a bit confused.
Yeah.
Because they were just told the one thing, just forget me taking the kids, or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing they were told, and so their brains are filled in, well, it's a bit confusing, I don't really know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In essence, yeah. You also know it's a spell, so it can be dispelled.
Awesome.
Do you know what level spell it was?
Yes, it was a
Oh.
level
It's a 5th level spell.
5 spell. Do either of you have Dispel Magic?
Not active.
No.
Excellent.
I can be ready for it for tomorrow.
It can also be
But I think we have
removed
touched that, right?
with Remove Curse or Greater Restoration.
Oh yes, because I have both of those.
Can it be removed by a hard slap to the face?
What about
No.
lesser restoration? I have that.
Well, maybe something to learn tomorrow then, chaps, eh?
Yes.
After your long rest. You know,
Well, it's not
hint,
like,
hint,
do you know what? It's not,
eyebrow
like I'm gonna,
buckle.
it's not like I'm going to need lightning bolt.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not unless we want you to be the diversionary tactic.
So, Derek,
Hey, look, I'm dead. He's tasty over here. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
if you wish to use Dispel Magic to attempt to remove these false memories or whatever, are we to hold here until they've had a chance to repair their spells?
Well, I've been thinking, as I do,
Dangerous.
often. I have come up with a plan. It's not one of my best. It is quite high risk. but let's see what you think about it.
So like yesterday, but
I have the spell Disguise Self. I can make myself look like a human child, at which point I run around playing games and stuff.
I know where this is going.
And then hopefully I get taken by a mysterious force, and you guys get your memories modified, perhaps. At which point you guys then realise, but you will realise that I'm missing at some point after those 10 minutes have passed, and then you can perhaps cast Locate Object or something similar, or some sort of tracking spell to come and hunt me down.
Insane?
Jury's out on that one, I'm afraid, Eldaran. But I am sadly in charge, and it's a plan. I'm not saying I'm putting it to the group.
Does modify memory only affect one person, or is it just the entire group at once?
Whoever it's cast on.
Single person.
It's a single target initially.
I think that's suicide.
There was a group of 25 people watching this.
Yep.
So something's cast a level 5 spell
Or maybe lots of
25 times.
I agree.
Yeah, it's ballsy again.
Well,
isn't it?
Man, that dragon sure is
As I
ballsy.
said, either one thing is cast it multiple times, there are multiple things casting it,
Or something very powerful.
or they have a variation on the spell that allows them to target multiple
That's
creatures.
probably more likely.
Or it's some sort of monstrous innate ability. They just walk up and go, haha, your brain fried.
But
I, as I said, it's not the best plan, but it is a plan.
the way I see it at
If
the moment,
we're worried that time is of the essence,
because I see here at the moment we have three options. One, suicide. 2, we go and search outside the walls. Or 3, we attempt to go and investigate that cave a little more, seeing as that's the only other area or lead that we have. Or, well, 4. Let's be fair.
return to the village, speak to the children is another option.
And then our wizards learn their spells. Yes.
Yes.
I'm not a fucking wizard.
Oh, God.
Semantics, darling.
Sorcerer and wizard.
Okay, the find objects spell.
Locate object.
It's not in the book. It's not.
Locate object?
What is your target spell?
Is it not on your list?
Hunter's Mark and stuff.
Oh.
Because you could Hunter's Mark him, and it then lets you know wherever he is. You don't have to attack him, but you know where he is.
Hunter's Mark doesn't know you where it is, but it gives you advantage on tracking, and it allows you to track through things that would block magical tracking. Block. Hunter's Mark is one of the few ways to track someone under the effects of Pass Without Trace.
Locate objects, second level spell.
That's my suggestion. If we end up doing that, he could potentially Slayer's Prey or Hunter's Mark for you, just so he knows he can track you, basically.
Yeah.
Because it is only a 10-minute concentration.
Have you got that?
Warrior would be here.
Have you got that ranger ability where you like concentrate on a type of animal and you can like see and you can tell where it is if there's any within like 5 miles or whatever? Because then you can just do halflings. I mean,
that
you want the
doesn't
only
function
halfling
that way.
within
No.
functions. I can find if there's undead or fey, celestials and dragons. Maybe not dragons.
Actually, because
If I'm undead, I think the mission's over.
Yeah, well, the mission isn't over. You might be.
Oh, can I get? It's no point if I can get locate object.
oh, that's right, yeah.
It's a level 2 spell.
Yeah. That's cool. Right. Once you guys work out what you want to do, we will
I'm
call.
definitely learning that one.
Hang on. You guys work out. We'll have a little conversation. So you guys work it out. We'll take a quick little break for us, and we'll pick up with part 2 momentarily.